and welcome to Play CCN, where we bring you this week's biggest HVAC&R headlines. I'm your host, Sandra Rossi, editor of Climate Control News. The federal government is moving ahead with plans to introduce occupational licensing on July 1 this year. The Prime Minister's Deregulation Task Force has drafted legislation to introduce a uniform scheme for the automatic mutual recognition of occupational registrations. This means that a person who is registered for an occupation in their home state can work in other states and territories, enabling greater worker mobility and more flexibility for employers. It will also lower the cost of doing business, and while industry supports the announcement, generally there are some concerns about how it will actually work. It is difficult to introduce uniform laws across the country when every state and territory is different. Some are over-regulated and others are under-regulated. In its submission to the task force, the Air Conditioning Mechanical Contractors Association has cautioned against a blanket implementation of automatic recognition, providing 6 recommendations to ensure the licensing framework is beneficial to the HVAC&R industry. CCN drills down on these recommendations in the April edition of CCN magazine. It was a slow start to the year, but it is certainly in full swing now, with plenty of big announcements in the past week. Price Industries has acquired a stake in Holyoake Air Management Solutions. The new company will be known as Holyoake by Price. Also this week, Airmaster acquired Melbourne-based company Specialised Fire Protection. Overseas, GEA has completed its sale of BOCK to NORD Holding. The compressor manufacturer will now operate as an independent company called BOCK. The sale hasn't slowed product releases for the company. Earlier this month, BOCK expanded its CO2 compressor range with an offering for transcritical applications. BOCK will release its low temperature cooling variant with 2 motor versions in June this year. In other news, the federal government has released a report which identifies opportunities to reduce electricity consumption and leaks of refrigerant from large stocks of refrigeration and air conditioning equipment. As we all know, we are part of an industry that consumes a lot of energy. Rack equipment uses more than 24% of all electricity generated in the economy. This report from the Department of Agriculture, Water and the Environment was compiled by the expert group and is a great resource for industry to utilise. Well, that's it for this week's headlines, which were brought to you by Temperzone. Thank you for watching.